So Nintendo has finally officially announced the Switch 2. I'm glad they finally did, because this console has literally been the most leaked console in Nintendo's history. I'm pretty skeptical, to be honest, about the Switch 2. I think the Switch 1 was really well done, and it was Nintendo's most successful console to date. I've had a lot of time to think about it and mull it over, and in this video, I want to give my ideas and opinions on why I think the Nintendo Switch 2 could potentially be a market-changing console. And if it were up to me, and in my mind, if this is how Nintendo handles the launch and everything to do with the Nintendo Switch, this is how I feel like it would be handled the best. So again, this is just my opinion. If you have opinions and ideas, I would love it if you'd leave a comment down below and we can talk about it. As someone who's followed Nintendo for many, many years and watched their missteps and successes, so here are just my thoughts on how I feel like they should handle the Nintendo Switch 2.
You fully backwards compatible, you bloke.
So the first thing I feel like the Nintendo Switch 2 should do out the gate is be fully backwards compatible with every single Switch game. In my mind, I feel like this is a no-brainer. The Nintendo Switch has sold so much software and everyone has massive libraries of games. When they showed the release trailer, there was a little bit of a disclaimer at the end. It would be nice if they like just came out and told us exactly what they meant by that, because I don't know why they're making us wait when we have like Twitter and they can just literally tweet out, yeah, every game's compatible, but it's probably just like the Labo and like the things that connect to like the Joy-Cons, because I know the Joy-Cons are different now. So like Ring Fit Adventure probably won't be compatible with the system because you probably have to buy different strap-ons for the Joy-Cons. I feel like Nintendo needs to steal some ideas from Microsoft and how they handled the Xbox One X, because when you played Xbox 360 games on the Xbox One X, developers were able to update old Xbox 360 games to play and run in 4K on the Xbox One X. And I feel like Nintendo should be able to let that happen with Nintendo Switch games. Even if it's just like a $10 patch like they do on the PlayStation, I want to be able to use the hardware that I paid for and get a boost to my old games, like, you know, resolution, frame rate, performance. It all should be scalable on the Switch 2 out of the gate. You might need a little bit of tweaking. I would love to play like an updated version of No Man's Sky on the Nintendo Switch 2 with my Nintendo Switch cartridge. We don't have to keep re-releasing everything. Just, you know, update the games, make them run better, and every game is backwards compatible. Just let us play everything we own.
Make better Joy-Cons, bro.
So they already announced the Joy-Cons, but basically I really hope that they have better Joy-Cons, you know, like they feel better in your hands. I see they're a little bit bigger, so that's good. I like how they updated them so that when you take them off the main Switch, there's the buttons like that are in the little enclave, so you don't have to like slap that little side rail thing on there to make the buttons accessible for people that are, you know, not really tactile with stuff like that. I like that they did that. I would love it if they had like better HD rumble, maybe like 4K rumble, and also like rumbles in the triggers. Like that would be really cool too. And I also see that they added analog triggers too, so that's good. Yeah, just like I want the Joy-Cons to just be better, because I hate the current Joy-Cons. I hate that they drift. I hate that the buttons are so small. So yeah, updated Joy-Cons.
Amazing launch titles, please. Yeah, Sal is so sexy.
The console needs to release with great games like a Mario Kart, maybe a Donkey Kong game. Launch the system with its best-selling games and it'll immediately be a success. Because I remember when the Switch came out, the most important game for that was Breath of the Wild, and that was enough to warrant the price of the Nintendo Switch. I hope they remember that they did that and they do it again for the Nintendo Switch too. Just release games that make sense for the console.
Give us more classic titles for Nintendo Switch Online.
Another point I will hope they address is Nintendo Switch Online. I hope they add GameCube games, 3DS games, Wii games for NSO, maybe Dreamcast games, you know, maybe even original Xbox games since Microsoft has been friendly with Nintendo recently. Update the NSO, add more consoles, add more of the 3D era consoles, because those are now retro, which is kind of depressing because I'm realizing how old I am. Yeah, you know, update NSO.
Multiple console variations. Do that now. Oh yes, we need that Nintendo. Oh yeah.
So for my next point, I know it sounds a little bit far-fetched. I think it would be a really good idea if Nintendo released different iterations of the Nintendo Switch 2. So what do I mean by that? So the Nintendo Switch launched with the main console, and then they launched the Nintendo Switch Lite, which was a version of the Nintendo Switch that could only be played handheld without a dock, because there are people that buy Switches and they only play them handheld or they only play them docked. So what I'm thinking is if Nintendo could release the Nintendo Switch 2, which is a dockable console, and then maybe if they can release like a handheld only version like the Lite, but maybe in a clamshell design, which kind of would be like the 3DS or the SP, that would be really cool. But a third iteration I think that they would really benefit from would be like a Apple TV style set-top box Nintendo Switch 2, which is only docked. So basically it plugs into your TV and it is a media console. Maybe they even release like a TV remote for it like the Apple TV does. And it's backwards compatible with the Nintendo Switch games. So you're basically getting a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 dock only console that can also double as a like media console for the normies, you know what I mean? And it would be really, really cool if they could make it like $100 to $200, because now the entry point would be way cheaper for people that just want to get in and play in Nintendo's ecosystem. I had that thought. It makes so much sense. Create a version of the console that is extremely cheap and accessible. Be very clear with the marketing. Make people understand that you cannot play this handheld. It is only docked. Have cartridge slots on the side. Have USB ports on the side. If they can bring it down to like $100 or like $200, that would increase the install base so much that all developers would want to make games for the Switch, because there's so many Switches out there, you know what I mean? Because Xbox tried to do that with the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, but those are kind of two different consoles, and I understand they'd made the Series S for like a more budget-friendly version of the Series consoles, but that was a dumb idea and they shouldn't have done that. I know a lot of people love the Series S, but launching two consoles is kind of, you know, too much.
Combat the scalpers, bro. I hate them so much. Tell them to leave my Nintendo Switch 2 alone.
I know for a fact that once this console releases, I'm probably not going to be able to get it unless I'm quick to a pre-order. Nintendo consoles are famous for being hard to get in the opening release, so I hope they combat the scalpers in certain ways. So one idea that I thought, bring back the ambassador program for the Nintendo Switch 2. So what I mean by that is, let's say like they will honor people who have had Nintendo Switch Online for like over 5 years, and you're automatically allowed to have a pre-order for the console. I would love it if I woke up one morning, turned on my Nintendo Switch, and I had a little notification saying, hey, would you like a pre-order for the Nintendo Switch 2? Because, you know, I think I've had a Nintendo account since it started on the Wii U. If they were to offer that to people who've had their Nintendo accounts for a long time, I feel like that would combat a lot of the scalpers, because then they would know that the people that are getting the Switch 2 are the people that really want them.
The power of the console, yeah.
And my final point is the power of the console. So I feel like this console, it needs to be as powerful as the PS4 Pro. Like that needs to be the baseline. Even if it's just the base PS4, that's good too. But as long as they hit that power measurement with consoles, it would open the door for so many ports from the PlayStation 4 to the Switch too. And I honestly feel like the PlayStation 4, power-wise, is good enough right now. I mean, how many games are really taking advantage of the power of the PlayStation 5 right now? It's expensive. It's a big risk for game companies. Game developers are closing down and like they're not able to like turn a profit. Like it's a big thing in the industry, this obsession with graphics and detail. People are still making games for the PlayStation 4 because they're selling and it makes sense. And there's so many games that are playable on the PlayStation 4 because you don't need that powerful of a console. Like they said with the launch of the Wii, this is seasoned technology. People know how to develop for the PlayStation 4. People know how to develop at that benchmark of console power. And I feel like that would really benefit the industry right now, because now you're making the games more affordable to develop for on the Switch 2. You're making them portable, you're making them console. I feel like it has the potential to like save the gaming industry, because now this Nintendo Switch 2 is just like this exciting product to own because it's powerful enough to run all the games you want to play, and it's portable, and all the game developers want to make games for it because they're able to. It has to be at least the power of a PlayStation or a PlayStation 4 Pro. You can't go any further back than that. I kind of feel like Nintendo would do that. In my mind, they cannot do that. Just keep it PS4 power. So those are my ideas on how Nintendo should handle the Nintendo Switch 2 launch. What do you think? Leave a comment down below, and please subscribe for more content like this. I'm really excited for the Switch 2 to come out this year. I'm really excited for the April Direct. I think that's going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it. 2025 has already been a great year for me, and I'm looking forward to how it will play out. Anyway, thank you for watching. and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!